Mike did not leave China by choice. He packed 2 decades into a few suitcases and returned to the country of his passport, America. He expected familiarity, a sense of homecoming. He found something else. The long corridors stretched out, the muted colors of the carpets and walls absorbing the sound. He walked alone, pulling a small suitcase, the rhythmic click of its wheels the only sound accompanying him. It felt less like a return and more like an arrival in a foreign land. He had left behind a life humming with people, a world of constant, gentle friction. Here, the space around him felt vast and empty. In a temporary apartment, bare and impersonal, the silence followed him. He sat on the edge of the bed, the mattress still stiff. In China, life had been seamless, a digital and physical tapestry woven together. Sickness was a minor inconvenience. Hospitals accepted walk-ins. Appointments were optional. Medication was dispensed from a window just down the hall, collected within minutes of a prescription. He never memorized hospital names, only floor numbers. Now in America, he searched for a doctor. The process was a labyrinth. First, he needed to navigate the complexities of his new insurance plan. Then, find a primary care physician who was accepting new patients. Then get a referral to see a specialist. Each step was a phone call, a hold time, a form to fill out. When he finally got through to a receptionist, the answer was always the same. The next available appointment is in 3 months. 3 months. In his old life, 3 months was a lifetime. Here, it was the standard waiting period for a routine problem. The efficiency he had taken for granted was replaced by a system of gates and delays. Back in his Shanghai apartment, dinner arrived without ceremony. He'd tap his phone a few times, and within 20 minutes, there would be a soft knock on the door. No need to open the door. The delivery person would call out, already on their way to the next stop. Here, every meal required a series of calculations. He opened a food delivery app and paused. The price of the food was just the start. Then there was the delivery fee. He looked at the estimated delivery time. 45 minutes to an hour. The simple act of eating had become a project. Hunger felt simpler than the explanation required to satisfy it. In China, his world had lived beneath his feet, a vertical neighborhood stacked high. Downstairs from his apartment building was a supermarket. Next to it, a noodle shop that was open late. You went downstairs for one thing and came back with 3 others you didn't know you needed. Here, in this sprawling American suburb, everything was distant. Separated by wide, multi-lane roads, by vast parking lots that baked in the sun. He stood at a crosswalk, waiting for the light to change. There was no one else around. No hum of conversation. To find a pharmacy, he had to drive. In China, it had been a shared public resource, an ambient part of the environment. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, Lin Fang returned to China. She was also in her early 60s, but her return was smooth, almost effortless. She had resources. A family member had arranged for a driver to meet her at the airport. An apartment, modern and clean, was waiting for her, fully furnished and stocked. Nothing was missing. Nothing was broken. The lights worked. The internet was fast. The water was hot. She set her suitcase down in the quiet, well-lit space and felt a sense of relief. The difficult years in America were over. She was home. But the change revealed itself slowly. She sat by the window, looking out at the familiar cityscape, and unlocked her phone. Her fingers, moving from muscle memory, searched for their familiar digital places. Facebook to see pictures of her granddaughter in California. YouTube for the gardening channels she loved. WhatsApp for the group chat with her old university friends scattered across the globe. Instagram for a glimpse of art and travel. Local news apps, streaming services with endless dramas, short video platforms that served up a constant stream of content. But that wasn't what she wanted. To hear their unscripted voices, to read their unfiltered thoughts. To wander through the digital world without a specific destination, just following a thread of curiosity. Here, she could search for anything she wanted, but she could not wander. The paths were predetermined, the boundaries clear. She sat in an elegant, quiet cafe, watching the people around her. They were well-dressed, busy on their phones, laughing with friends. Life here was comfortable, smooth, efficient. In America, life had often been difficult. She'd struggled with the language, with loneliness, with a culture that felt loud and chaotic, but her mind had moved freely. She could read any newspaper, watch any channel, explore any idea, no matter how obscure. Here, in the comfort of her homeland, the physical world was easy, but the mental world felt narrower. It wasn't that she felt watched or controlled. She just felt reduced, smaller. And so, on opposite sides of the planet, they spent their nights in parallel isolation. Mike sat in his half-unpacked apartment, surrounded by boxes that held a life he no longer lived. Lin Fang sat at her polished desk, the vibrant lights of the Chinese city glowing outside her window, feeling a different kind of emptiness. They had both returned to where they came from, only to discover they no longer fit. The places they had called home had changed. Or perhaps they had. Everything else was gone. The social media platforms that were now inaccessible on one side or the other. Only one channel remained. WeChat, a message appeared on the screen. It was from Mike. Everything is complicated here. Lin Fang read the words and understood them completely. Yes, she typed back. Here too. Mike's reply came quickly. At least you're settled. Lin Fang paused, looking at her comfortable apartment, the perfect picture of a successful return. She thought about the invisible walls she felt closing in. She typed slowly. I'm comfortable. But I feel smaller. Sometimes, she would try to forward him a video a friend had sent, a link to an article from a foreign newspaper. But the link would be broken, the video unable to load. She'd sigh and switch back to text. Some lives cannot be forwarded. They can only be described, piece by painful piece. They didn't give each other advice. How could they? Advice required a certainty they no longer possessed. They couldn't offer solutions for navigating insurance bureaucracy or bypassing internet filters. All they could do was share the weight. They were two survivors of a choice, reporting back from different sides of a chasm, confirming that the other was still there, still feeling the same strange dislocation. Choices do not always fail in a spectacular, obvious way. Sometimes, the world simply moves on without you, redrawing its maps and rewriting its rules while you're looking the other way. What remained for Mike and Lin Fang was not regret, it was clarity. A stark, unnerving clarity about the lives they had left and the ones they had entered. Now they each needed to find a place where that survival did not constantly require explanation. And that's a wrap for today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in and spending some of your valuable time with me. I really hope you found this helpful or at least a little bit entertaining. If you enjoyed what you saw, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. It really helps the channel out more than you know. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you won't miss out on any of our future content. I love hearing from you guys, so please drop a comment down below and let me know what you thought, or what you'd like to see next. Your feedback is everything. Thanks again for your incredible support. Stay awesome, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.